Let's fill in the blank. The WWE draft was blank.
Boring.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No,
That's
it
a good
was.
word.
I mean, I understand what they're going for, and I like the effort that they put in. But the reason why we get excited about the NFL draft is because the possibilities seem endless, right? So for example, I'm in Milwaukee. On our show on ESPN Milwaukee, we talk a lot, obviously, about the Packers. So leading up to the draft, are they going to take safety? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And there are so many different options. Obviously, they end up going offensive line. But there are just so many options. Oh, they could do this, they could do that. And ultimately, when there are only really two choices, Raw or SmackDown, like it just isn't as inherently exciting because and also you've made and not necessarily Hunter, but you kind of have as well. Yeah. You've been complicit in this. The draft hasn't really meant anything. They don't really stick to the brands. Like they can, if you have an idea for, oh man, you know, it'd be great if this guy from SmackDown could face this guy from Raw. Well, guess what? You figure it out and you end up telling that story anyway. So the draft
also,
is kind of meaningless.
Another note, don't forget there can still be trades. The rosters do not lock until Monday.
That's correct. The only thing to me that's worth it in the draft, which kind of cool, because again, and it's nice to see, like Caleb Williams in tears after being the number one pick, right? He's the number one pick. He's in tears because like the emotions overcome it. Like Randy Orton's not going to cry. You know, Bianca Belair's not crying because she's the number one pick. She's already like main evented WrestleMania. Like she doesn't need this doesn't mean that much. However, the NXT call-ups, that's the only thing to me that was pretty cool during the draft is the fact that you got to see some of those people realize their dream of, yes, they're in the WWE right now, but now they get the call-ups, you know, like Lyra Valkyria, like that was a cool moment. I'm trying to think of what are the other women that they had from Friday night that got drafted, that she was wearing the Raw hat, you know, and so they're borrowing things from the draft. So to me, like the NXT stuff was cool. Everything else, I can pretty much leave it.
But even that, some of the NXT stuff's had the legs cut out. Like Carmelo and Dragunov being called up would have been cool, but we've seen them on the shows before. We saw Dragunov on the Raw after, and Carmelo got an opportunity where I wouldn't say he quite delivered. A little bit of a botch there that was pretty prominent. If you saw that with Cody on Friday. Mm-hmm. So, like, I would fill in the blanks. It's not necessary anymore. And it's because of the past and because of just the way they do it they try to explain their way. Like, well, you want to pick your own guys also and protect them. And, like, looking at, like, the top names, Braun Breaker, Sheamus, Damage Control, Carmelo, Nia, like, those are the top names that switch brands. Who knew what show any of those people were on beforehand? Like, you watch, most people are watching both. We're not at the point now where people are only watching SmackDown or only watching Raw. Business is good to where I don't know if we even need a brand split anymore when it comes to the WWE.
I mean, probably not, but then you'd have to probably shrink the product a little bit and get rid of some of the championships that you have. Mostly, I guess you'd have to have one world champion, one men's champion, instead of having, you know, a world championship on both for both the men and women. But yeah, I'd be okay with that. You could talk me into that being a good idea. It just doesn't. The draft. Again, some of the bits are funny. You know, the Dudleys coming out, pretending, you know, we can't really see. You put on the glasses. Okay. I mean, I am a mark for any time Ron Simmons gets to say damn. Sure. Like that's, you know, that's always going to bring a chuckle. And really that was the only real draft storyline that they played into was Drew McIntyre being pissed off that he wasn't a higher draft pick. And that Punk went before him. Again, minor, don't necessarily need it to continue that feud. But that's about the only thing that they use storyline-wise.
And the LWO one, where they're like, oh, Carlito attacked Dragon Lee and, you know, might be out, but they all got drafted together. And it's like, what? And at least they explained Roman. Like, they tried this year, which I give them credit for, but it just felt all unnecessary.